All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. We're really looking forward to hearing about some of the updates to the WIC and Senior Nutrition Program with Veronica Griego. So she'll be chatting with you all here in a little bit and then doing Q&A afterwards. But yeah, just a reminder that this is a lunch and learn. We're doing these twice a month. We're doing them on the second and the fourth Mondays of the month. So hopefully you all can join us. These are also recorded. So for those of you who will be watching these on YouTube, you want to make sure that you have access to all this information. And also for the people who are the participants now, if you want to follow up and double check on anything that was discussed here in the lunch and learn, you can always watch the video on YouTube. We do send out the links in our newsletters, so you'll get reminders for the lunch and learns with links to all the different recordings, and you'll also get reminder messages before the different lunch and learns. So that way you can remember to keep it on your calendar and join us for the next ones. So the next lunch and learn that we're going to have is going to be on Monday, June 27th, and it's going to be a Q&A with the New Mexico Environment Department. So that one should be really interesting. We try to come up with topics that are engaging and informative for all of our farmer market managers out there. So hopefully we can, clear up some of the loose ends that you might have, answer some of those questions. So yeah, so again, I want to thank you so much for being here. And like I said, the next one is going to be on June 27th from again 12 to 1, and it'll be a Q&A with the New Mexico Environment Department. All right, so I will go ahead and toss it over to Veronica, who is going to be able to share all of her wealth of information with us. And we're so excited that you are here today, Veronica. So I will just toss it off to you and let you take it away.
All right, thank you. And let me go ahead and share my screen. So just give me just a little bit, everybody. Let me open that up. All right. So I know I've had a lot of people asking me about how do farmers sign up? Is there a video for our farmers? And we actually just got some information from Soli Systems, and they have provided me with the instructions. And I did create a quick little dummy video just so you can see how it's going to be. And like Michael said, it's going to be up and set up, so you guys will have the training. I know Rhonda has been asking for this information. So all of this information will be there for you now. I've been going around and signing up farmers, getting them onto the program. We are going to start entering their information into our system. So probably next week, your farmers will start seeing emails coming to them. Let them know emails are going to start going to them to check their spam or their inbox. And it's going to come from Soli Market. You're going to see what that looks like. And I'll just go through a little bit of information just in case you get questions. However, I will be attempting to call each farmer that has signed up to be able to walk them through this setup process. So we'll send it to them by email. We'll also call them. We'll do what we can to get everybody signed up. So I'm going to just run through the instruction manual that you will be seeing. And I will be sending the information off to each of you as well. And I believe it's also going to be available as a link. So let me see if it's going to open. It's not going to open, and I'm not sure why. Well, I'm going to walk you through the steps of what it's going to do, and then we'll go through the instructions. So as you noticed here, they received an email and it says Soli Market. So this is the type of email that they're going to be getting. It'll say Soli Market, welcome to Soli Market. So that is what the email will look like. It's going to have their username and a temporary password. It's also going to give them instructions on how to download the application. The application is actually at the bottom of this email. It's going to allow them to set up their own password. And it's also going to allow them to enter their own direct deposit information. So as you can see here at the bottom, it's telling them to download the Solely Market Shopper mobile app. So if they have an Android phone, they'll click on Google Play. If they have the Apple phone, they'll click on the Apple App Store. It's going to ask them to download the application. Mine is already downloaded, so I'm just going to click open right now. They're going to see the blue screen and it's going to say Solely Market Register. Remember, what I'm showing you now is actually just a test app. And this is what I was able to get from Solely Market to just show a quick little video. So right in here, the email is the email that they got on the email that they received. So they're going to have to go into that email and make sure that they use that email information. The password is a temporary password. So what I did here is I just actually copied the password off of the phone. And then I went and pasted it into the Solely Market portal. So as far as my email, the email is the email that the farmer issued to me on that EFMNP acceptance document. That is what's going to be entered. So there's the password, the email, and I'm going to hit done. And then they can either log in or set it up by using their biometrics. It just depends on how tech savvy that they are. The next thing is they enter a new password. It does have to be a minimum of 6 characters. So what I did is I just used the temporary password and added a number. That's all I did here for myself. So that's why you're seeing that. And then what they'll need to do is they'll have to hit done and confirm. And now they're signed into the portal. From here, they're going to see the markets that are tied to them. The first screen is find a market. That is the actual markets that the farmer will be tied to. So if they're telling me, oh, well, we have 4 markets, each of those markets are going to be on there. So wherever they're working at, that is where they're going to click, and that is how they're going to process their transactions. Now I'm on account settings. In here, under account settings, they can set up their bank information. And I'm going to pause that really quick. So in here, it's ACH bank information. If they do not enter this information for ACH, they will get a check. We just got some news that for a check, it's going to take 30 days for a check. The reasoning is because they're wanting to charge us close to about $4 a check per check. So if we send that out to every farmer every week, we're going to go broke. We will not have a program. So it's going to be 30 days before they can get a check. Now, if they want their money faster, will be ACH. 2 to 3 business days is what we're looking at. So they will need to make sure that they put in their bank information. Majority of all banks are already in here. So once they start typing it, they will go ahead and it'll pop up a list of all the banks. They'll put in their account name. It does have to be the account holder's name, their account number, the routing number. Is it a checking or savings? They need to make sure that they click the right account type. Otherwise, it will deny the payment. So once they're done, they'll have to click on save. So now from here, like I said, they'll just hit save once they're done, and all their information is saved, and they will start getting payments. The portal is actually, if they click on language, as you could see, it had English, Spanish. It'll automatically convert to Spanish if they are Spanish, if their phone is not already set to a Spanish mode. Other than that, they can fix their passcode if they want. And then I'm going to actually go back just a little bit in here. So let me see where it went. So now I went back home, and now after their account is set up, they're going to go ahead and start working. They're going to click on this checkout icon. Once they do the checkout icon, it's going to open up the scanner. So once the farmer clicks on the little button, it's going to open up the camera. That there will allow them to go ahead and start scanning the actual transaction with the participant that has a card, or with the participant that has the mobile app. And I know many of our farmers, I'm actually going to stop sharing really quick. So I can go ahead and open up the instructions. That way you know exactly what I am talking about as far as the instructions. Give me a minute. And I'm going to resume share. Nope, it does not want to allow me to share it. It said, nope, I'm not going to let you. It literally just closed it. So give me a minute. All right, there we go. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, all right. So on here, this is the Solely Market mobile application user guide. This has 14 pages. I'm going to go through it and highlight what needs to be really paid attention to. Like I said, I just got off my training with Solely Market right before this, and I just received this from them. So it's really going to take a little time for me to go through it just to make sure that everything is correct, and I will make sure to get it to everybody. But I believe it is correct because we made sure that they did it for us, and that way is easier for our farmers to go through. So of course, number one is installation and setup with the Solely Market Register. That is pretty much everything I went through with you with that phone example that I did. As far as doing the purchasing instructions, it's walking them through the purchasing instructions. Same thing I showed you. They're going to click on the checkout, and then what they'll do is they'll go ahead and get the QR reader. They'll go ahead and they'll scan the participant's QR code off of the phone or off their mobile app. From there, it will read the participant's account. It's going to show the balance of the participant's account balance in their mobile phone and on their shopper card. So remember that seniors and WIC participants can have either or. They can either have the WIC card, which is our shopper card, or they can have the mobile app. It's all depending on them, whatever they choose. So now it goes through, going through what they need to choose. So what they'll need to choose is either fruits and vegetable icon, the herb icon, which is right in the center, or the honey pot, which is right at the right. Then from there, they'll go ahead and enter the dollar amount of the purchase, the whole dollar amount. They don't need to do single items. It is the whole dollar amount. However, if it is honey, I do want the honey pot to be used. And then they'll go ahead and hit add. It will deduct the dollar amount from the benefits, and they'll hit continue. And the money will automatically be moved from the participant account into the farmer account online. Once it is done, then what will happen is if they're using a mobile phone and it's a mobile to mobile phone transaction, participant and farmer, then the participant who has the mobile phone will say, okay, I agree, I accept. And then from there, it is going to let them know that the purchase was confirmed. And once it is confirmed, it's going to do, it'll just say that it's confirmed and it's done. So here's the instruction apps for the app to card. Same thing. The farmer's going to open up his checkout, going to go ahead and scan the QR code, hit proceed, and he will enter the dollar amount and what item was purchased, hit continue. And then from there, confirm transaction. The participant will have to confirm that transaction. And at that point, they will enter their PIN number to approve the transaction. So this is where the 4-digit PIN will come in at the end to approve it. Once it is done, it'll let the farmer know that the transaction is completed and it's done. Other than that, it's going to go into entering their ACH bank information. So these are all the instructions on how to do it and what to do. And from there, it'll just take them through the navigation and other features for the Solely Market portal. So it's going to tell them exactly what has been purchased throughout the week or the month. And then it will show them their purchases. And pretty much that's going to be it for that information. It's actually very, very, very easy. Like I said, I know a lot of my market managers have been asking for this information, and here it is. And the other thing that I did find out is if a farmer does not have a phone and we have not got you guys your cell phones to your markets, we are actually working on that information that right now. For you to actually run a transaction for a farmer, or if they have a volunteer, if you have volunteers at your market, we can actually set them up as a cashier in the system to be able to help the farmer do the transactions. So if anybody has questions on that later on, you guys can call me. I think majority of you have my work cell phone number, but it's the 505-469-0548. If you have questions, we can go a little bit further on that. I just don't want to hold everybody up as far as that process. That's something a little bit different. But if anybody has questions about this, sign up. Like I said, I'm working on signing up our farmers. We'll be putting them in probably next week, and emails will start going out to them. So that's it for now for me.
All right, so now I guess we'd like to open it up to questions. If any of the participants, any of the market managers have any questions that they want to ask Veronica, this is going to be a good opportunity to do that, because we do have her here and available to share all of her knowledge with us. So you can either feel free to unmute yourselves or type your question in the chat, but we would love to hear from you all.
So I would like to ask when we're going to get that instruction manual.
Rhonda, I will go ahead and I will get that out to everybody. Also, I know FMNP, you guys are going to be posting it, right? For the NMFMA, you guys are going to be posting it to the YouTube, the training, right? And I believe I can also send him the link to the page, so that way it's everywhere. That way everybody has access to it. And then I will go ahead and send it to you also, Rhonda. I'll be sending it as a group email to all market managers, just so everybody has it.
That's great. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have one other question. What happens when you cancel?
When you cancel the transaction?
Yeah, I never saw that covered either before or in this.
So if a transaction is canceled, it just kind of like if it's never, like it never happened. So you can always, if you feel that it was an error, you can always go in and look at the little checkout box on the history. So you know where the history is at. I'll have to go through that with you, Rhonda, but where we have the little cart, and on the right-hand side, there's a history icon. On the history icon, you can see if the transaction actually went through. If it did not, you just go and redo the transaction.
Okay. Thank you.
Veronica, this is Jackie from Rama.
Hi, Jackie.
I missed an email or two, and what's the procedure for signing up in your farmers?
So I am having them do the 2023 through 2025 application already, or agreement application already. So we have that up and going and prepped and ready for next year. There is also an additional form that is attached to that now. I can just resend it to you, Jackie, so you can have it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do need all the documents back. If I do not have that EFMNP information, I cannot put them into the system.
So you're going to send me an email?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have to ask this question for everybody. Once we get this user guide, does it go to our farmers too?
It's
Or
only, it is only going to the farmers that have signed up with me. It's not going to go to every farmer. It is only going to the ones that I have in the system.
And you
So
will
those that I have the documents for, remember the EFMNP document I had them fill out? That is the form that allows me to put them into our portal. So once I put them in, those are the farmers that are going to get that document in their email, because I have all their emails. So like I said, we're gonna do an attempt to contact each of the farmers that have signed up with us. So that way we can walk them through the steps of signing in, setting them up, and they will also get a copy of that. More than likely what I'll do is I'll probably maybe print a few and send it to the market managers so you can have it on hand in case they don't have their email with them or they lost the document.
I must say that I think I mentioned to you before, we met with all of our vendors in individual meetings, and I was amazed at the number of people whose printer doesn't work or who doesn't have a printer. I mean, it was significant. So how do you want to deal with that?
I mean, of course, we'll just send it by email and by mail. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
I'll have to do either or. It does not matter. We have the funding for it, so I'm open to both. So it'll go to them, to their mailing address and their email.
Thank you.
Just a little chime in. Sarah Thompson and I know intimately, and so does Michael Green, that our vendors, and it's exactly the same people, really aren't great about checking email. So that maybe the biggest ask right now of the market managers is just to have them, as you said, Veronica, remind your vendors, check your email, look for that email from the, what was it called again, Veronica?
It's gonna be solely market.
Solely market. And, you know, remind them every week until they get it done. It just, emails get lost and in their boxes, and it's nobody's fault. It's just the nature of it. So anytime you can remind them in person, it is worth doing.
Yeah, and the good thing about this is I can see who's actually signed into it and who has set up, so I can see if they have been verified. So once they go in and change their password and do what they need to do to log in, it'll tell me that the user has been verified, which means they have their account set up.
That's great. Have
Mhm.
fun. Enjoy.
Thanks.
So is WIC in the senior, nutrition, is it the same card? It's the same program?
Yeah, so whether they are on WIC, whether they are seniors and they want the card is going to be the same. Which you see, it's this picture right here. They're going to be all the same. It's just going to say New Mexico WIC and Senior Farmers Market. And in the background, through our system, we can actually identify who's WIC, who's not WIC, who's a senior. So we identify it in the background. On your end, pretty much it's just scanning the card. If a WIC participant tries to buy honey, it'll kick it back. There's just no way that it's going to allow it to go through. Our system actually stopped that.
Hey, Veronica,
Okay.
what are the benefit levels this year?
So as far as benefit levels for our seniors, we're doing $45 per eligible senior. So let's just say there is a household of two, husband and wife, and their income does not go over the household of two of 2,686. That's based off the 185% poverty guidelines. They will both qualify for the benefits. So each of them will get the $45. Now, as far as our WIC participants, each WIC participant, whether it's a mom and her children, they will each get $30, but they have to be active on WIC. So let's say the mom is breastfeeding, the child is, she has one that is 2 and one that's 8 months. Each one of them participants will get $30. And we're doing this at the beginning of the season. We're not going to wait till mid-season to kind of do a breakdown and give you half, give them half. It's just going to be all at once. They will have from the date we issue in July to November 29th to spend the benefits. After that, the system will stop and it will not allow no more transactions after the 29th.
Sounds wonderful.
Any other questions?
All right. How do they get the cards?
What was that?
How do they get the cards?
Seniors or WIC?
Whoever.
So the seniors have to fill out an application with us. And so anytime that they contact me, because we have the flyers, they're all over, they're on Facebook. We've even left some, I believe we left some with some of the market managers as well, if they asked for them. And what they'll do is they'll contact us through the phone number or the email, and we will send them, or they can pick up the application at a WIC office, senior centers, because we are working with aging and long-term care services as well. So we are working a lot with our senior centers. Sometimes there's some community centers out there that have it. There's just so many places, but the best bet is to contact me on my cell phone, and we can reach out to them and give them an application either by mail, or we can email it to them if they can print. And a lot of them have been printing their applications, or they'll send it to their kids and ask them to print it. And what they'll do is they will go ahead and fill it out, and they'll email it back to me, or they'll mail it in. So it's either or. So as soon as I get the application and they are approved, we will send them. So we're looking at doing senior days at markets. So we're trying to work with our WIC offices to do WIC and senior days, but we're really working with our WIC to see if we're going to have staff to be able to make it out there. And we're looking at markets, days and times. So that way we can see how do we get them out there? How do we get our participants, whether they're WIC or seniors, out there to go and pick up their benefit card, or to be able to download their apps. So that way we can go ahead and have them pick up and purchase immediately the same day. Other than that, if they do not go, then we will go ahead and mail them their cards. A lot of the senior centers we're working with, we're going to mail the cards to the senior centers, and they will issue the cards to the senior participants at that point. As far as WIC, the way it truly works is they go into the WIC office and they will pick them up in the WIC office. The additional is us just kind of doing, reach out and outreach at markets. So that's an additional thing that we're working on. But the way it usually works is they pick up in WIC offices, or we'll mail it for seniors. Other than that, we're doing a huge kickoff July 5th. This will be at the Santa Fe del Sur Farmers Market next to the Presbyterian Hospital. We're actually doing a huge kickoff with them. And so that way we can go ahead and get this program started. And that way it'll get going for the 1st of July.
So you don't care. This goes to the change in the accounting for checks or direct deposit or checks. If the vendor already said, I want to go check only, and you tell them, well, that you really want to wait for a month, then they don't have to do anything but make the change in the app. Is that true?
Yep.
They don't have to inform you that they've changed it. Okay.
Nope. They can just go into the app and click on account and put in their banking information.
How are you advising market managers to deal with training when the participants are missing the day that you come to train?
Participants more than likely. I mean
vendors. Like, say a vendor, you're going to be at our market in 2 weeks. I know a vendor or two that's not going to be there. How are you recommending that they be trained?
So, I mean, pretty much the instruction manual that you just saw is going to walk them through it.
Okay.
And like I said, we're going to call them if they sign up and they're not there. We will call them and walk them through the steps. Then the remainder of it will be on that instruction manual, how to process a transaction. Was that it? No.
Can I bug you with one quick question? And
Yeah.
probably the market managers don't care. Are you going to have to do a new card each year, my friend?
No.
Okay. You can just
The only reason we will is if they lose it. So we're hoping they hang on to these cards. Other than that, we'll be purchasing more cards. As of right now, we are good with cards. So our card stock is up there. So we are hoping we do not have to replace cards, but that'll be part of our mailing when we give it to our seniors or our participants, information that they are going to have to get to be able to let them know, hang on to those cards, don't throw them. They are reusable.
Yeah, I'm just looking ahead at our program. So thanks for that little bit of wisdom.
You're welcome. Oh, and I was going to ask you guys, is there a way on your website we can update it? Because I know it still has all the old information.
Yeah, there's definitely a way you can do that. I can get you Allison Penn. She's our communication specialist person. She manages all the updating of the website. So I'll shoot you over her information and you can tell her what you'd like.
Okay. All right.
Let's see, are there any other questions for Veronica? If not, can give you back some 25 minutes of your day. But we just want to make sure that all of the questions were answered and all of the kind of kinks were ironed out. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Cool. Well, I think we can go ahead and finish for today. So I want to say thank you all for participating in today's Lunch and Learn. Like I said, the next Lunch and Learn is going to be on June 27th, and it's going to be a Q&A with the Environment Department. So it's a great way to ask any questions to the Environment Department that you might have. Again, we do these on the 2nd and the 4th Mondays of the month. So we'll be doing that through the summer. We just want to kind of build these connections with our farmers markets managers and make sure that they feel part of a community and make sure that we're all together. So the recording, I will pause here in a little bit and I'll get it up on our YouTube channel probably in the next 24 hours or so. So Carol, it'll be, I would say if you check back tomorrow by the end of the business day, it should be up there. It's usually pretty quick for me to throw it all together. Yeah. So yeah, again, thank you all for coming, and hopefully we'll see you again in 2 weeks for our next Lunch and Learn. And a special thanks to Veronica for being here and sharing this information, because we know that changes are sometimes difficult and complicated, but I know that got the best interest of everybody in mind. So we do appreciate all that you do for our community. So thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all at the next Lunch and Learn here in 2 weeks. So you all have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.